What's up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Getting set for the new year coming up this weekend, but a lot of football going on. Super exciting stuff. Week 16 in the books for the NFL. Of course, we have bowl season rolling on right now as well. Minnesota up 30-17 in the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, Ford Field, where the Lions play. Good thing for Jimmy, his lone wolf there on the Gophers. But yeah, let's get to it. So on Friday, we had the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Georgia Tech winning 30-17 over UCF. My lone wolf won the Yellow Jackets there. John Rice Plumlee for the Knights, 16-29, 55.2%, 198, 2 touchdowns, 15 carries, 32 yards. And Timmy McLean came in late for the Knights there, 1 of 4, 25%, 57 yards, and a pick. Haynes King didn't have to do a lot, 7 of 13, 53.8%, 87 yards, touchdown, and a pick through the air. The ground game was where it happened for the Yellow Jackets, 12 carries, 89 yards, touchdown for King. There, and his running back, Jamal Haynes, excellent performance, 18 carries, 128 yards by himself. UCF also had their own 120-yard rusher, RJ Harvey, 15 carries, 120 yards, a fumble, 2 catches for 17 yards as well. UCF wide receiver Javon Baker, massive night for him, even in a loss, 9 receptions, 173 yards, a touchdown. And then defensively, I'm going to go with Georgia Tech defensive back Amari Harvey, 6 tackles, all of them solos, 2 pass deflections, and a pick. Georgia Tech plus 6.5. They went outright under 65.5. Saturday, we had 6 bowls, I believe. The first one being the 76 Birmingham Bowl. Duke, the Blue Devils, 17-10 over the Troy Trojans. Surprising score here as Duke lost their head coach, Mike Elko, to Texas Tech. Also, Riley Leonard in the portal to Notre Dame. And a bunch of other guys in the portal for Duke as well. So surprising win here, but good thing for Duke and their future. Gunnar Watson for the Trojans, 21-36, 58.3%, 231 pick. Duke starting quarterback Grayson Loftus, 16-29, 65.5%, 183, a pick and a fumble. Troy running back Kimani Vidal led the game in rushing, 17 carries, 79 yards, 1 reception for 3 yards. Troy offensive lineman Derek Graham, also the big man, getting a touchdown, 2-yard touchdown run for the Trojans. Troy wide receiver Jabray Barber, good game for him, over 110 receptions, 107 yards, 0 for 1 passing. And then defensively, I got to go with Duke corner Chandler Rivers, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 pass deflections. Duke plus 6.5. They win outright under 44.5. A lot of underdogs winning this weekend in bowl season. The Camellia Bowl. This was not one of them. Northern Illinois, 21-19 over Arkansas State. Rusty's Huskies getting it done in bowl season. Love to see that. Jalen Rayner, the starter for the Red Wolves here, 16-30, 53.3%, 250, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 13 carries for 49 yards. And I use quarterback Rocky Lombardi, 18-29, 62.1%, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 3 carries for 21 yards, and a rushing score. NIU punter Tom Foley, how about that? 32-yard touchdown throw to the kicker, Kanan Woodall, 1 reception for a 32-yard touchdown there. NIU running back Ontario Brown, big day on the ground for him, 25 carries, 132 yards, leading the game. Arkansas State wide receiver Corey Rucker over 100, as was NIU's wide receiver Grayson Barnes, the leading receivers for each team. Rucker leading the game, though, 5 catches, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Barnes, 5 catches, 105 yards, and 1 score. Defensively, I got to go with Arkansas State corner Sammy Johnson, 11 tackles, 8 solos, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections, and a pick. NIU, plus 2.5. They win outright under 53.5. I guess they were underdogs. Sure. The next one, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. And I mentioned this on the Friday show about no one picking Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl. And this is what Air Force did to us. 31-21 over JMU. Excellent game for Emmanuel Michel. Went crazy. The quarterbacks here, Jordan McLeod for the Dukes, 20 of 33, 60.6%, 257, 3 touchdowns a pick. Zach Larrier for the Falcons, 3 of 5, 60%, 45 yards, a touchdown, 9 carries for 26 yards, and another score on the ground. Mentioned Emmanuel Michel, excellent performance, 200-yard rushing, 35 carries, 203 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. You had JMU wide receiver Elijah Surratt, excellent player in his own right, over 100 yards, 8 catches, 115 yards. JMU wide receiver Phoenix Sproles, 2 touchdown day for him, 5 catches, 55 yards, 2 scores. And then the monstrous day in the win for Air Force linebacker Bo Richter, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 3 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss. Also, Aiden Fisher, just astronomical tackle day, 17 tackles, 12 of them solos. Air Force minus 2.5 covered over 43.5. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl in Boise State, in Boise, Idaho. Georgia State crushing Utah State. My lone wolf there. Darren Granger, excellent performance. 19 of 22, 86.4%, 257, 3 touchdowns, 24 carries, 111 rushing yards, 2 more scores on the ground, 5 total scores, 368 total yards for Granger. Just a fantastic performance in the bowl game here. Utah State playing 2 quarterbacks. Levi Williams, the normal starter, 12 of 21, 57.1%, 131, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 9 carries for 23 yards. And then McKay Hillstead, 7 of 11, 63.6%, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Georgia State running back Freddie Brock. It does not get much better than that. 24 carries, 276 yards. He was averaging 11.5 yards per carry. That is just ridiculous. Had 1 touchdown, also had 2 receptions for 15 yards. Georgia State wide receiver Kadarius Thompson over 100 on through the air, 5 catches, 117 yards, 2 scores for him. And then defensively, a lot of good performances. I got to go with Utah State, though. Defensive end Paul Fitzgerald, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 3 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss. Georgia State plus 1.5 wins outright over 57.5, 67. One more, 68 Ventures Bowl. South Alabama annihilating Eastern Michigan 59-10. Biggest spread of the day. This one was 17.5 there for the Jaguars. Gio Lopez was pretty solid for USA. 14 of 19, 73.7%, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 carries for 88 yards, a rushing score. Desmond Trotter, 9 of 17, 52.9%, 115 yards, touchdown, a pick, 5 carries, 27 yards, a rushing score as well for the other Jags quarterback. For the Eagles here, Cameron McCoy, 12 of 27, 44.4%, 73 yards, 2 picks, 13 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. And then they also played Ike Udengwu, the third, 0-for-3 passing. South Alabama running back Braylon McReynolds led the game in rushing outside of Lopez, 13 carries, 71 yards, 3 catches for 40 yards. You had USA wide receiver Jamal Pritchett leading the game in receiving. Big day, 8 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also scoring twice was his teammate, tight end DJ Thomas Jones. 3 catches, 23 yards, and 2 scores. Defensively, got to go with the bottom guy. South Alabama corner Marquise Robinson, 2 tackles, all of them solos, 1 tackle for loss, 3 pass deflections, and a pick. South Alabama minus 17.5 covers easily. Over 42.5, 16-9 in that game. The SRS distribution, Las Vegas Bowl, Northwestern, another surprise winner on Saturday. 14-7 win over Utah. Super surprising was this one here. None of us picked Northwestern, obviously, but you have to give props to now full-time head coach David Braun. Just an excellent season to get the Wildcats the 7 wins after the Pat Fitzgerald fiasco in the beginning. And then not even that, but to get them a bowl win. Excellent again, like I said, for Coach Braun there, now the new full-time head coach heading into 2024. Ben Bryant for the Wildcats, 23 of 34, 67.6%, 222, 2 touchdowns. Northwestern also played Ryan Helinski a little bit, 1 of 3, 33.3% for 3 yards. For Utah, it was Bryson Barnes most of the way, 8 of 13, 61.5%, 55 yards, 2 picks. Luke Batari completed his only pass for 18 yards. Utah running back Jaquindon Jackson led the game in rushing, 8 carries for 55 yards. Not much going on there. Northwestern wide receiver Bryce Kurtz, he led the game in receiving, 5 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. Defensively, I'm going to go with Utah defensive tackle Junior Tafuna. 3 tackles, 1 solo, half a sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection. Got to give props to Northwestern defensive back Jaheim Joseph, though, with 2 interceptions on the day. Northwestern plus 6.5 wins outright, under 43.5 easily. Finally, the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. Coastal Carolina finished the Dog Saturday up by winning as an underdog as well, 24-14 over San Jose State. Chevin Cordero for the Spartans here, 16 of 30, 53.3%, 215, 1 touchdown, 7 carries for 59 yards. Ethan Vasco was tremendous for the Chanticleers in this one, 20 of 33, 60.6%, 199, 3 touchdowns, 17 carries for 50 yards. His legs were very instrumental in this game. San Jose State running back Kyrie Robinson, he led the game in rushing, 12 carries, 16-7 yards. 2 fumbles, though, really killed a couple of Spartans' drives, and he also caught 1 ball for 1 yard. The star of the day, though, was Coastal Carolina wide receiver Sam Pinckney, up over 1,000 yards in this game. 8 receptions, 123 yards, and a touchdown. And defensively, I'm going with the bottom guy, Coastal Carolina corner Matthew McDoom, 2 tackles, both them solos, 4 pass deflections on the day. Coastal plus 8.5 wins outright, under 48.5. Let's head to the NFL. Week 16 action. Steelers on Saturday, 34-11, drubbing of the Bengals in Pittsburgh. I was at this game. Excellent atmosphere. Got my first win of the season after being 0-3 previously. But the Colin and Rusty Steelers game magic continues to work. 4-0 now with my boy Colin in Pittsburgh. 0-1 without him. So, yeah. Steelers. I know he kept saying you need to hire us to go to every game so we can win, because, like I said, we're 4-0 in the games that him and I have been to together. So, anyways, into the stats here for this one. Jake Browning, 28 of 42, 66.7%, 335, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, though, really hurt him on the day. Excellent plays for the Steelers defense, though. Mason Rudolph, he was fantastic. 17 of 27, 63%, 290, 2 touchdowns. Fantastic day for the spot start here. Looking probably to get another one this weekend in Seattle. Steelers running back Najee Harris led the game in rushing, 19 carries, 78 yards, a touchdown. It was interesting to see the split between Harris and Warren in this one. Warren really not utilized a lot, unfortunately, but yeah, Harris had a pretty solid game. Also having a solid game, George Pickens. George Pickens went ballistic in this game. 2 long touchdown receptions, caught 4 total for 195 yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 targets, 48.8 yards per reception there. That's ridiculous. T. Higgins, though, also catching a long touchdown of his own. Big day for him as well. 5 catches, 140, a touchdown on 8 targets there. And defensively, I got to go with Alex Highsmith or TJ Watt. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, whichever one you want to pick. But Watt, 3 tackles, 2 solos, a sack, pass deflection, 4 QB hits. Highsmith, 1 tackle. It was a solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, pass deflection, QB hit, and an interception to boot. Steelers, plus 2.5, win outright over 39.5. The other game on Saturday, I was watching this one on the way home. 24-22 over the Chargers. The Bills get to 9 wins and solidify their spot in the playoff picture even more as the 5 seed, or as the 6 seed, I mean. Josh Allen, 15-21, 71.4%, 237, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 5 carries, 15 yards, and 2 rushing scores. It was not easy for Buffalo, to say the least. Easton Stick and LA gave them all they could in their home stadium. Stick, 23 of 33, 69.7%, 215, 7 carries for 25 yards and a rushing score. Bills running back James Cook led the game in rushing, 20 carries, 70 yards, and a fumble. Big night for Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis, 4 catches, 130, a touchdown on 6 targets. And defensively, how about the night for Bills defensive tackle Ed Oliver, who essentially ended the game with his second sack of the contest. 4 tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 QB hits. Chargers plus 12.5, cover easily over 45.5 by the hook. Packers, close one and a must-win for Green Bay, 33-30 over the Panthers in Charlotte. Man, I lone wolfed the Panthers. Thought they were going to do it. Bryce Young had a career day, all for naught, though. But it's encouraging. Like I said, it seems like every single week he's really improved, especially since the coaching change. And we saw everything come to fruition here. Well, we thought we were getting in Bryce Young came into this game. So 23 of 36, 63.9% for Young, 312, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries for 17 yards. Notice no turnovers. That was a big stepping stone for Bryce Young there. For Jordan Love, 17 of 28, 60.7%, 219, 2 touchdowns, 2 carries for 12 yards and a rushing score. Packers running back Aaron Jones, he was on a mission in this one in his first game back after missing a couple, 21 carries, 127 yards, and a 8-yard reception. Panthers wide receiver DJ Chark Jr., he had a monster day, 6 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns on 8 targets. And defensively, there wasn't a lot, but Packers linebacker Preston Smith was everywhere. 3 tackles, 2 solos, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, and 4 QB hits. Panthers plus 3.5. They cover by the hook, over 39.5, easily 63 in that one. God, it was so close, man. At the end, just could not get the spike down for Pinheiro to kick the game tire. Had sent this thing to overtime. I believe the Panthers might have been able to win it had they gone to overtime with the momentum. Came back from down 16. So it was really solid performance by Carolina. Browns, 36-22 over the Texans. They are still hoping for a division title in the AFC North. Still 2 games back of the Ravens, but still winning. Joe Flacco continues to dominate, 27 of 42. 64.3%, 368, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Interesting quarterback situation in Houston. Case Keenum was the guy to start, 11 of 17, 64.7%, 62 yards, 2 picks. Davis Mills played a lot, though, 15 of 32, 46.9%, 149, 2 touchdowns. So we'll see which guy it is going to be this week in Houston. I believe it's probably going to be Case Keenum, but I'm not sure. or if CJ Stroud can come back this week. I think he might. Texans running back Devin Singletary led the game in rushing, 9 carries, 44 yards, 3 catches for 19 yards. How about Dameon Pierce? Again, taking a back seat to Singletary in the groundwork, 3 carries for 6 yards, but 98-yard kick return touchdown for Pierce in this game. This game was the Amari Cooper game, though. Just astronomical numbers, 11 receptions, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns on 15 targets. Texans tight end Dalton Schultz also over 10 targets, 8 catches, 61 yards on 11 targets there. And defensively, Zadarius Smith was a monster in this one for the Browns. 2 tackles, both of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflection, and 4 QB hits. Browns minus 3.5, cover easily, over 39.5, 58. That game. Jets 30-28 win over the Commanders. Yeah, this was not very good for New York here. They were up 27-7 at halftime. That's what happened in this game. 27-7 at halftime. They got outscored by the Commanders. They let the Commanders score 21 straight to take the lead. And then Trevor Siemian, luckily for the Jets, got the job done at the end, allowed Greg Zuerlein to kick a game-winning field goal there, 30-28 final. Trevor Siemian, though, 27 of 49, 55.1%, 217, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 4 carries for 18 yards and a fumble. You had Sam Howell starting the game again for Washington, 6 of 22, 37.3%, 56 yards, 2 picks. Was horrendous was Howell in this game. Jacoby Brissett, though, second straight week, excellent spot duty, 10 of 13, 76.9%, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, and a 10-yard carry. Jets running back Breece Hall went wild in this game. 20 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 12 receptions, 96 yards, 16 targets for the running back, 32 touches, 191 total yards, 2 touchdowns for Breece Hall, 43 fantasy points or something like that, I think. Just want to update you on the Quick Lane Bowl. 2:33 to go. Bowling Green about to kick an onside kick down by 6, I believe, 24-30. Also in this game, Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson. He led the game in receiving, 9 catches, 76 yards on 15 targets. Defensively, I'm going to go with Jets linebacker Quincy Williams, 8 tackles, 7 solos, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections, and a pick. Minnesota recovered the onside kick, so looks like Bowling Green is going to lose this one here. Dropped 7-6. Minnesota up to 6-7 on the season. Commanders plus 2.5. They covered by the hook. Over 36.5. 58. Seahawks walk-off win 20-17 against the Titans. Geno Smith, 25 of 36, 64.9%, 227, 2 touchdowns. Looking pretty solid in his return after a couple games out. Ryan Tannehill, his first game since injury after Will Levis took the reins. 18 of 26, 69.2%, 152, 2 carries for 37 yards. Titans running back Derrick Henry led the game in rushing, 19 carries, 88 yards, touchdown, 11-yard reception, and a 12-yard passing touchdown. That sunk my efforts in fantasy. Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett, he led the game in receiving, 8 catches for 81 yards on 11 targets. And then defensively, how about the day for Seahawks linebacker Boye Mafe? 6 tackles, 5 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 4 QB hits. Seahawks minus 2.5, covered by the hook, under 42.5. Falcons, big win in Atlanta, 29-10 over the Colts, drubbing against Indy. Taylor Heineke starting this one, 23 of 33, 69.7%, 229, 1 touchdown, 2 carries for 10 yards. Gardner Minshew struggled a little bit, 20 of 37, 54.1%, 201, 1 pick, 4 carries for 31 yards. Bijan Robinson led the game in rushing for the Falcons, 12 carries, 72 yards, 7 receptions for 50 yards on 10 targets there. It was a struggle on the ground for Indy all day against the Atlanta front. Jonathan Taylor, his return, his second game back, I believe, I think 18 carries, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Not very good, 2.4 yards per carry there. Colts tight end Kylan Granson led the game in receiving, 5 catches, 62 yards on 7 targets. And then defensively, tough one to choose from, but I think I am going to go with Falcons defensive end Zach Harrison, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 2 QB hits. Falcons minus 2.5 covered easily, under 44.5. And there it is. It's final in Detroit. Minnesota, congrats to them. They win the Quick Lane Bowl in 2023, 30-24 over the Bowling Green Falcons. You also have 2 more bowls coming up, one starting in 4 minutes here on ESPN. Next game here, the Lions. Congrats to the Detroit Lions, 30-24 over the Minnesota Vikings. NFC North champs for the first time in 30 years. Well, they've actually never won the NFC North because the NFC North was created after they moved from the NFC Central. That was their last division championship in 1993. I was not born yet for that one. Nick Mullins for the Vikings, 22 of 36, 61.1%, 411, 2 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. Really killed the Vikings all day. Somehow, though, they did have a chance at the end to go down and win the game. Did not get it done. Lions quarterback Jared Goff, 30 of 40, 75%, 257, 1 touchdown. Excellent, efficient performance there. Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs, he led the game in rushing, 15 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, a fumble, 4 catches for 20 yards on 7 targets. Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, excellent return for him, 6 catches, 141 yards, touchdown on 10 targets. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, also really solid at 12 receptions, 106 yards, a touchdown on 14 targets there. And defensively, my goodness, look at the day for Lions safety Ifeatu Melifonwu. 5 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflection, 2 QB hits, and a pick. 2 picks for his teammate, safety Kirby Joseph. It was a safety parade because rookie Brian Branch also playing excellent in this game. But Lions minus 2.5 covered, over 47.5, 54 in that one. This was a sort of a surprise. Now, Jimmy did lone wolf the Bucs, but 30-12 crushing the Jags in Tampa. Bucs winners of 4 straight now, looking really solid for that NFC South crown and a playoff spot. Baker Mayfield, 26 of 35, 74.3%, 283, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence struggled, got injured in this one again, 17-29, 58.6%, 211, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 4 carries for 29 yards, and a fumble. Obviously, you see that 3 turnovers there for Lawrence. Jags quarterback CJ Beathard also played a lot in this one after Lawrence went out, 11 of 15, 73.3%, 94 yards, and a pick. Bucs running back Rachaad White led the game in rushing, 20 carries, 39 yards, a touchdown, 6 catches, 38 yards on 7 targets. Jags tight end Evan Ingram leading the game in receiving, 10 catches, 95 yards, 15 targets, and a fumble in this one. Bucs wide receiver Chris Godwin also over double-digit targets, 6 catches, 78 yards, 11 targets there. And then 2 touchdown days for the number 1 wideouts for each team. Jags wide receiver Calvin Ridley, 6 for 90 and 2 touchdowns on 9 targets. Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans, 7 for 86, 2 touchdowns on 8 targets. Defensive player of the game, I got to go with Bucs safety Antoine Winfield Jr., 3 tackles, all of them solos, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 1 QB hit, and a pick. Probably should have went with Devin White, though, actually, how do I look at it? But anyways, Bucks plus 1.5. They went outright under 43.5. Bears win this one 27-16 over the Cardinals. Kyler Murray 24-38, 63.2%, 232 touchdowns, 5 carries for 32 yards. Justin Fields 15 of 27, 55.6%, 170, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 9 carries, 97 yards, touchdown. Again, his legs, the thing that gets it done in this one. Also, legs getting it done was his running back, Khalil Herbert, monster day, 100-yard performance, 20 carries, 112 yards, touchdown, and a 9-yard reception. Bears tight end Cole Kmet, he led the game in receiving over 100, 4 catches, 107 yards on 5 targets. And then defensively, how about the day for Cardinal safety Jalen Thompson? 5 tackles, 4 solos, 1 tackle for loss, 3 pass deflections, and a pick. Bears minus 5.5, covered over 42.5 by the hook, 43 in that game. How about them Cowboys? Dolphins 22-20 over the Cowboys. Massive win for Miami at home, and Cowboys again cannot play well on the road. That is why I picked Miami. Jimmy, congrats for the lone wolf loss on Dallas. Tua Tagovailoa 24-37, 64.9%, 293, 1 touchdown. There was some stuff left out on the field. Tua missed some throws. Could have been a bigger day for the offense, but they did get the win. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott 20 of 32, 62.5%, 253, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries for 25 yards and a fumble. Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert, he led the game in rushing, 11 carries, 46 yards, and a 4-yard receiving touchdown. Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb over 100 in this one, 6 catches, 118 yards, touchdown on 10 targets. Massive target day for Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill in his return after a 1-game absence. 9 catches, 99 yards, and on 14 targets there. Defensively, it's a tough call, but I got to go with the top guy there. Dolphins linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, 10 tackles, 7 solos, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 4 QB hits. Dolphins minus 1.5. They cover by the hook under 49.5. Got to shout out. Props to Jason Sanders, too. Dolphins kicker. 5 field goals in that game. Sunday Night Football. How about a stunner? Patriots 26-23 over the Broncos. Bailey Zappi getting it done in Denver. 25 of 33, 75.8%, 256, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble for Zapster. Russ 25 of 37, 67.6%, 238, 1 touchdown, 4 carries for 20 yards. And Russ did a good job. Russ did all he could, really. Bringing them back from 16 down. They were down 23 to 7 at one point after a couple turnovers, but Russ got them back tied. Just had to punt there at the end, and Bailey Zappi led them down for the game-winning Chad Ryland 56-yard walk-off field goal. Broncos running back Jaleel McLaughlin, he led the game in rushing, 6 carries, 37 yards, 4 receptions for 30 yards on 5 targets. Patriots running back Ezekiel Elliott, not a lot on the ground, 12 carries, 27 yards, but through the air, he was a beast. 9 catches, 33 yards, touchdown on 11 targets. Leading the game in receiving was Patriots wide receiver Demario Davis, 5 catches, 74 yards on 8 targets. And then defensively, defensive tackle Christian Barmore, back-to-back big weeks for him. 8 tackles, 5 solos, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits. And then, of course, also Patriot safety Cody Davis, 1-yard fumble recovery, return for a touchdown there on the kickoff that was fumbled. Patriots plus 7.5 went outright over 37.5. Yesterday on Christmas, triple header there, Raiders 20-14 over the Chiefs. Another upset on the weekend. Patrick Mahomes 27 of 44. 61.4%, 235, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 10 carries for 53 yards. Aiden O'Connell, Did not have to do a lot. 9 of 21, 42.9%, 62 yards. All 62 yards were in the first quarter. No passing yards in the second, third, or fourth quarter. Just ridiculous that they won. Crazy, but they got it done. Keeping their playoff hopes alive. And the division is also still a possibility for Las Vegas. As crazy as that might seem. Zamir White, Zeus, had a monster day. 22 carries, 145 yards, filling in for Josh Jacobs there. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice, he led the game in receiving, 6 catches, 57 yards on 12 targets. And then 3 guys I want to mention, all for Vegas. Defensive end Malcolm Kuntz, 6 tackles, 5 solos, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits. You had the 2 touchdown scorers. Also, corner Jack Jones, the former Patriot, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 1 pass deflection, 33-yard pick 6. And the defensive tackle Bilal Nichols, 3 tackles, 1 solo, and an 8-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Raiders plus 11.5, winning outright, under 40.5. The Eagles, go Birds. First time I've been able to say that in a couple weeks, but finally got it done. 33-25 over the Giants. It was not pretty, but the last drive they did get it done. Almost pretty much. They let Tyrod have a chance at the end, but it's okay. Got it done. Jalen Hurts, 24-38, 63.2%, 301, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 8 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown run, breaking Cam Newton's single season rushing touchdown record for quarterbacks. I believe he's up to 16 now, 15. Giants starting the phenom quarterback Tommy DeVito once again, 9 of 16, 56.3%, 55 yards. Turning to the veteran Tyrod Taylor, midway through, 7 of 16, 43.8%, 133, 1 touchdown, a pick, 2 carries for 21 yards. Most of those yards on the long Darius Slayton touchdown reception. Eagles running back DeAndre Swift led the game in rushing, 20 carries for 92 yards, a touchdown. Mentioned Darius Slayton there. He led the game in receiving for the Giants, 3 catches, 90 yards, a touchdown on 3 targets. Big target share for Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown, 6 for 80 on 11 targets. And defensively, got to go with touchdown scorer, Giants corner Adoree Jackson, 4 tackles, all of them solos, 2 pass deflections, and a 76-yard pick 6. Giants plus 13.5 cover easily, over 41.5, 58 in that game. And the Christmas capper here on Monday Night Football, the Ravens trouncing the 49ers in Santa Clara, no less, 33-19. Brock Purdy, 18 of 32, 56.3%, 255, 4 interceptions. Had never even done that at Iowa State, let alone the NFL. So excellent performance by the Ravens defense in this game, forcing those turnovers. Sam Darnold came in for Brock Purdy late with the injury, and also they didn't want to put him back out there because of the score. 8 of 14, 57.1%, 81 yards, 1 touchdown, and a pick for Darnold. Lamar Jackson, pretty solid. 23 of 35, 65.7%, 252, 2 touchdowns, 7 carries for 45 yards. CMC, 100-yard night, 14 carries, 103 yards, touchdown, 6 catches for 28 yards on 10 targets. 49ers tight end George Kittle led the game in receiving, over 100 in this one, 7 catches, 126 yards on 9 targets. His teammate Brandon Ayuk also over 100, 6 for 113 on 7 targets. Couple double-digit target days for 2 other guys. Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers, 9 catches, 72 yards, a touchdown on 13 targets. And, of course, Deebo Samuel for San Fran, 4 catches, 47 yards on 12 targets. Defensively, pick your Raven, but I'm going to go with the Ravens defensive end Brent Urban. Big night for him, 2 tackles, both of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. Kyle Hamilton got injured, but he also had a big night, 5 tackles, 3 solos, 3 pass deflections, and 2 picks of the 5 that Baltimore got on the night. Ravens plus 6.5. They win outright, over 47.5. On to the news, the United Football League news, as I am making the switch to that new name for the news segment. Stallions They signed wide receiver Amari Rogers, quarterback Adrian Martinez, and defensive lineman Jalen Twyman, former Pitt Panther there and Vikings draft pick. The Battlehawks, how about this one? They signed XFL Defensive Player of the Year, now defunct Vegas Vipers linebacker Pita Tamapenu. So really big signing for St. Louis there. Houston Gamblers, they got a big one as well. They re-signed running back Mark Thompson, their catalyst on offense. The Michigan Panthers, they signed quarterback Danny Etling. And the Arlington Renegades, they signed quarterback Holton Ayler, 7th-round pick of the Seahawks. Go to college football news, but we have a score in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl presented by Staff DNA. 7-0. It will be once the extra point is in for the Texas State Bobcats over the Rice Owls there in Dallas, Texas, SMU's stadium. 7 plays, 76 yards for quarterback TJ Finley and co. There, GJ Kinney, the head coach for Texas State. College football news, transfer portal. Took a little bit of a dive in terms of reports this weekend with the Christmas holiday, but Texas quarterback Malik Murphy, he has committed to Duke, so big get there for their new head coach, Manny Diaz. UTSA edge rusher Trey Moore, he is committed to Texas, so little journey across the state there. New Mexico State quarterback Diego Pavia, he has entered the portal, as has Oklahoma quarterback Davis Beville. Really excited to see where Diego Pavia goes. Again, he's short, but he plays. He's a playmaker. Excellent season this year for NMSU. Excited to see what he can do in the portal there. Vanderbilt safety DeRicky Wright, he has committed to Texas A&M, so good get by new head coach Mike Elko there. Florida running back Trevor Etienne, Travis Etienne's brother, has committed to Georgia. Go Dogs, baby. Super excited for Trevor Etienne in that offense next year with Carson Beck coming back. Arizona quarterback Jaden DeLora, he is in the portal, as is Florida State quarterback Tate Rodemaker and Miami, Ohio running back Rashad Amos. So with Tate Rodemaker in the portal, this Orange Bowl is going to be a bloodbath. It feels like anyways. Brock Glenn would assume get the start as he did in the ACC championship game. A lot of players lost for Florida State in the portal already. And speaking of that, Florida State linebacker DJ Lundy, he has committed to Colorado. So good get for Coach Prime there in Boulder. Returning next year, Penn State, they are getting a playmaker back. Tight end Tyler Warren announced his intention to return for the 2024 season. Nittany Lions there. Really excited for him to be back. Coaching carousel, New Mexico State head coach Jerry Kill is stepping down. Not sure if that is health related, once again, just like he had at Minnesota. But nonetheless, 2 years in Las Cruces and just a fantastic turnaround for Jerry Kill and the Aggies there. Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, interesting decision coming up. He has a 10-year, $125 million extension on the table from Michigan. It includes, however, a no NFL clause in the first year of the deal. So we would not be able to go to the NFL until 2025 if he would sign this extension. But he is weighing NFL options currently. NFL news. The Bucs and quarterback Baker Mayfield have mutual interest in a return for 2024. We'll see what happens there in the offseason with that situation. IR moves. The Titans, they placed defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons on IR. Chiefs doing the same with running back Jerick McKinnon. Giants, offensive tackle Evan Neal. And Texans safety Jimmy Ward. Injuries. Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase, AC joint sprain. Could be back this weekend. Cincinnati still clinging to hopes of the playoffs there. The Steelers safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, grade 2 MCL sprain. Likely isn't going to be back till week 18, so probably going to miss the game in Seattle this weekend. Vikings, bad news for them. Linebacker DJ Wonnum, he is out for the season, partially torn quad there. Rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison, he is week to week with an ankle sprain. And today, head coach Kevin O'Connell announcing tight end TJ Hawkinson done for the year, torn ACL and MCL. So long road back for Hawk there. Get better, hopefully. Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle. He has a high ankle sprain, but head coach Mike McDaniel optimistic that he will play this week. Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence. He has a right shoulder sprain, so not sure if T-Law will be able to play against Carolina this weekend. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. He has a stinger, but should be able to play this week, just like he did when he got the initial stinger against the Cardinals. His left tackle, however, has a groin injury, and another offensive lineman, Aaron Banks, he has a toe injury. So a lot of O-line injuries for San Fran in this one. We'll see how those shake out when it comes to this weekend. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett likely going to be out again this week. Mason Rudolph set to start once again. So it'll just be kind of like last week. Mason Rudolph going to start with the ball to start the week. We'll see how Kenny gets. If he gets better throughout the week. And then if he's good to go, he's good to go, and he'll play in Seattle. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson still dealing with a concussion. He is out for Thursday Night Football in Cleveland. Couple of releases. The Broncos, they waived safety Kareem Jackson, suspended multiple times this season for illegal head-to-head hits. The Texans, they have claimed him off waivers as they play safety Jimmy Ward on IR. And signings, how about a Christmas present for Bears kicker Cairo Santos, 4-year, $16 million extension, $9.5 million guaranteed there for Cairo. So congrats for that. The Browns, they signed Lions kicker Riley Patterson to their practice squad as they deal with kicker and punter injuries. Dustin Hopkins dealing with a hamstring, I believe. Browns also signing punter Matt Hawk to their practice squad, former Bills and Colts kicker or punter. He might have to fill in this week for Corey Bjorquez, who also got injured in the Texans game. The Jags dealing with the Trevor Lawrence situation. They signed quarterback Matt Barkley to their active roster off the Giants practice squad for some QB depth. Pick standings, pretty solid. Jimmy and I 3-1 last week. Logan falling to 2 games behind myself. Jimmy still leading the pack though by 3. So it's interesting, but last week we had let's see here. Yeah. So last week, just the small slate there. Jimmy and I both going 1-0 in our lone wolves. He got USF right over Syracuse. I got Georgia Tech right over UCF. So let's get to the picks this week. Tomorrow, we have a bunch of games going on. Military Bowl presented by GoBowling.com. Virginia Tech against Tulane. I'm going with Hokies. Because what does Tulane have? I don't know if I don't think Michael Pratt's playing because he accepted his Senior Bowl invite. Willie Fritz is off to Houston as the head coach there. So I don't know. I don't know what the situation is going to be around Tulane. I'm going to go with Brent Pry & Co., the Hokies, fighting to get to that 6-6 record. They're going to want to make a statement and get this one done. This game played in Annapolis, Maryland at the Naval Academy. Total is 44.5 for this game. I'm liking the under 2 p.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. Duke's Mayo Bowl. This is the grossest bowl of every college bowl season, and I don't want to watch the end. But North Carolina against West Virginia, and Jimmy going with Tar Heels as his lone wolf. Again, I'm going with the stability, the things that I do know. Drake May not going to play for North Carolina. I don't know who else they're going to have, but I like West Virginia. The Mountaineers scrappy most of the season. They saw C.J. Donaldson, Garrett Green at quarterback. So I'm going to go with the Mountaineers, as is Logan. This one's played at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Panthers play. 54.5 is the total on this one, and I actually kind of like the over. I don't know why. I'm leaning on the over there. 5:30 ESPN and ESPN Plus. The DirecTV Holiday Bowl. We are all on the Louisville Cardinals. Number 15, Louisville against USC. Cardinals getting 7.5. This one is in a baseball stadium, Petco Park, where the San Diego Padres play. So USC has the geographic home advantage, and they are the home team. But we're all going with Louisville. What is USC going to look like without Caleb Williams? I'm not so sure. I think they're going to have a lot of other opt-outs, and Jeff Brom has done a tremendous job getting this team to a second-place ACC finish. So give us the Louisville Cardinals. 58.5 is the total here. I'm liking the under. Again, I'm not trusting the USC offense. 8 p.m. on Fox. Taxac Texas Bowl. Texas A&M against number 20 Oklahoma State. We're all on the Cowboys here. Surprised that they are the underdogs. Mike Gundy has a good team there in Stillwater, and I have no clue what A&M is going to look like with all the transfers that they have had, especially at the quarterback position with Max Johnson transferring out. So we'll see. I still don't know why they're favored, but this one's at Energy Stadium, home game for A&M in Houston, where the Texans play. But we're all going with Oklahoma State Cowboys. 53.5 is the total here, and I'm kind of leaning on the under. 9 p.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. On Thursday, we have the Wasabi Fenway Bowl played at Fenway Park, where the Boston Red Sox play. Number 24, SMU against Boston College. Now, BC obviously has the home field advantage, but SMU is the better team. Preston Stone, excellent season for the Mustangs in Dallas. And we are all rolling with those Mustangs in this game. 49.5 is the total here. I'm leaning on the under. 11 a.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Rutgers, the Scarlet Knight against Miami, Florida. Logan, roll with the Canes. This one, Rutgers has the home field advantage. This one played at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. I'm going with Greg Schiano. I think his team is going to be scrappy in this one. I don't know what the quarterback situation is for Miami. No Tyler Van Dyke, obviously. So we'll see the young guys there for them. No Colby Young as well. As he transferred to Penn State, I believe, or Georgia, whichever one it was. Total here is 40.5. I'm liking the under. That's a Rutgers kind of line right there. 2:15 ESPN and ESPN Plus. Pop-Tarts Bowl. Now, they revealed this trophy today, and it's excellent. 2 strawberry Pop-Tarts on the top. I love it. Give everyone Pop-Tarts. This is like the Cheez-It Bowl all over again, except Cheez-Its are better than Pop-Tarts. Just saying. Anyways, number 18, NC State against number 25, Kansas State. Logan, lone wolf here. He's going with the Wolf Pack of NC State. This one was tough. Both teams have a lot of transfers. Not sure what the quarterback situation is going to look like. No Will Howard, no Trayshawn Ward, quarterback, running back for Kansas State. No MJ Morris for NC State. I believe no Peyton Wilson probably as well for the Wolfpack on defense. I don't know. I'm just going with the favorite. I think that that K-State can get it done. It's probably going to be a close game, but give Jimmy and I the Wildcats. This one's at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. 47.5 is the total here, and I am leaning on the over, actually. I don't know why. I have a feeling Pop-Tarts Bowl is gonna be a high-scoring one. 5:45, ESPN and ESPN Plus. The Valero Alamo Bowl. This one's played in San Antonio, where UTSA plays at the Alamo Dome. Number 14, Arizona, the Wildcats against number 12, Oklahoma, the Sooners. We're all over the Wildcats here, and for good reason. No Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma, no Davis Bevel now as well. So not sure what the quarterback is going to be for Oklahoma. We know we're going to get Noah Fafita. We know we're going to get a lot of those young guys that have stepped up tremendously this year for Arizona. And Jed Fish looking to get that 10-win season here for the Wildcats. I think they'll get it done, as do my compatriots here. 62.5 is the total here. I'm leaning on the under. Again, I don't know what the Oklahoma offensive situation is going to be. 9:15 ESPN and ESPN Plus. And on Friday, a couple games as well. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, number 22 Clemson against Kentucky. We're all over the Tigers in this one. Dabo Swinney looking for a 9-win season after starting very poorly. But, yeah, Clemson's been so hot ever since that interview on the radio with that guy, Tyler. So I wouldn't put it past them. No Devin Leary for Kentucky. So, yeah, I don't trust Mark Stoops' squad in this one. I do trust Dabo's squad. 46.5 is the total on this one, and I am leaning on the under. This one's played at Everbank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, where the Jags play. 12 p.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. And we are at the freeze portion of the show, just 56 minutes in. That's record here. Anyways, we'll keep rolling. Love to see it. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso, where the UTEP Miners play. Number 19, Oregon State against number 16, Notre Dame. The Irish getting 6 points here in El Paso. But Jimmy is not believing in the Irish hype, as he is going with the Oregon State Beavers. I am just not so sure about Oregon State because of the turnover. Jonathan Smith no longer there, went to Michigan State to be the head coach, as well as DJ Uyunglele transferring out. Bunch of other transfers: Easton Mascarenas Arnold, Akili Arnold. That's why Logan and I are going with the Irish. More certainty on what we're going to get from Marcus Freeman's squad than Oregon State here. 41.5 is the total here. I like the over for some reason. 2 p.m. on CBS. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Memphis getting a home bowl game. This is played in the Memphis Tigers Stadium. However, I'm not picking Memphis. I'm going with Iowa State. Coach Matt Campbell there and the Cyclones. They have excellent young players in quarterback Rocco Becht and Abu Sama, the running back there. Have some good receivers and tight ends as well. I think they get it done. They've done an excellent job after the betting scandal early in the year. A lot of players suspended for that. So, yeah, give me the Iowa State Cyclones getting an 8-win season there under Matt Campbell. 57.5 is the total for this one, and I like it. High scoring, fit over. 3:30 ESPN and ESPN Plus. And then the nightcap on Friday, Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, number 9, Missouri, against number 7, Ohio State. And of course, he's doing the homer pick. 1-point favorite for the Buckeyes at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Fort Worth, where the Cowboys play. Yeah, I just think, again, the uncertainty around the transfer portal team. Ohio State was another team that got thrashed with transfer portal departures. Kyle McCord, the quarterback, a bunch of other guys as well. So, yeah, I'm going with Missouri. I haven't heard as much about them in the transfer portal. Cody Schrader and Brady Cook there. Get it done, Luther Burden and co. 48.5 is the total here. I like the over. Give me an offensive shootout at in the Cotton Bowl. 8 p.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. And of course, we do have the final Thursday night football game of the season here in Cleveland. The Jets heading to Cleveland to face the Browns. Browns getting 7 points at home, as they should. This Cleveland defense, fantastic. So is the Jets. This should be a low-scoring game, I think, despite how Joe Flacco is playing. I think he's going to come down to earth against this Jets defense. And Browns win it, but close. Maybe the Jets even cover. 35.5, like I said, small line here. I'm going with the under. 8:15 on a Prime Video. That's the show for today, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Next Tuesday, we'll be back, and it will be a new year, college football playoff, NFL Week 18. We'll talk about all that stuff coming up, as well as all your game recaps and game previews. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X. FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, etc., and TikTok at Football Addicts and Not. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all had a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. We'll see y'all back in 2020 on Friday, actually, before 2024.